Okay, here's chapter 2, White Fur Flying. My father came home just before dinner. He still wore his white vet medical jacket. He carried a large covered cage. Cody and May ran up to him, sniffing. "So, what is this?" asked Mama. "I saved the life of an African gray parrot today," said Daddy. "And did the parrot thank you?" asked Mama. Daddy took the cover off the parrot cage. "Did you thank me?" said Daddy to the parrot. "You can't know," said the parrot loudly in a British accent. My mother laughed. "She belongs to a woman going into a nursing home. She can't keep him," said my father. "Feisty woman, I'd say," said Mama. "What's your name?" asked Alice. "You can't know," said the parrot. "Lena," said Daddy. "Lena is her name." "Lena," repeated Lena. Cody and May sidled up closer to the parrot. "Easy, May," said Mama. "Sometimes these dogs don't like birds." "Easy, May," said Lena. Cody sat and stared. "Most birds don't talk, do they, Cody?" said Daddy, scratching Cody's ears. "I have a question," said Mama. "What is Lena doing here?" Daddy grinned. "This question from you," he said. "The dog woman? The rescue angel?" "You got me into it, John," said Mama. "Remember, the dogs need saving, Claire." "Lena needs saving too," said Daddy. "Someone has to keep Lena until we find her a home." "What do you want to eat?" I asked Lena. "You can't know," we all said at the same time. Even Lena. This made Lena laugh. It was a high-pitched, wild sound that made us all laugh. The more we laughed, the more Lena did, and the more we did, and so on and on. The next day, early, there was morning mist, with sun shining through. I let Cody and May out into the large fenced-in yard. They ran to the side fence, and I could see the boy from next door standing there. Behind him, the man got into his black car and drove off without a wave. The boy put out his hand, and Cody nosed it through the fence. The boy smiled, and then he looked up and saw me, and his smile went away. "That's all right," I called, walking down through the wet grass in my bare feet. "That's Cody. His real name is Kodiak. And May, who's licking your hand. I'm Zoe. What's your name?" The boy was silent, but still stood staring at the dogs. Cody's tail wagged, and the boy smiled again. Philip, come away from those beasts." The woman with the piled-up hair stood on her porch. "It's all right," I said to her. "They're good dogs." "They could bite," she said loudly, coming down the steps. She walked across the grass, carefully stepping over the small brook that ran between our houses. "No, they'd never bite," I said. "Never," said Mama, suddenly standing behind me. "Not when someone is kind to them. Philip, is that your name?" she asked, and he nodded. "He doesn't speak," said the woman impatiently. "At least not to us. My husband's niece left him with us, and we're keeping him while," she hesitated, "while his parents solve a problem." "Well, Philip, you can visit the dogs any time," said Mama. "You don't have to talk." Philip looked at my mother for a long time. "And you are welcome to visit too," Mama said to the woman. "I'm Claire Cassidy." Mama put her hand across the fence. The woman took her hand and then dropped it. "I'm Phyllis Croft," she said. "We just rented this house for a few months." "Welcome," said Mama. "We'll have tea sometime." Mrs. Croft backed up a bit. "And I have a daughter, Alice, who's probably about Philip's age. Are you about 10? "He's 9, said Mrs. Croft crisply. She grabbed Philip's arm, pulled him away. "We have errands," she said. "Nice to meet you," she added. "Nice to meet you, Philip," said Mama. "And you," she quickly added to Mrs. Croft. Mama and I watched them go back up the steps to their front porch. Philip turned to look at us. All of a sudden he held his hand up in a small wave. "Well, Cody, I'm surprised you didn't bite that woman," said Mama. Cody wagged his tail. "I feel sorry for Philip," I said. Mama sighed. "I do too." Alice is right. He is a prisoner, I said. Mrs. Croft is mean. Mamma seemed thoughtful. I wonder, she began. I looked up at her, waiting. I think she's scared, said Mamma. Scared of what? Mamma smiled slightly. Dogs. She's scared of dogs. And I think... She stopped. What? I think maybe she's scared of Philip. Mamma and I stood at the fence for a moment. You can't know, a voice came from inside her house. Let's go, said Mamma, smiling. Lena's awake. As we walked, I turned to look at the Crofts' house and saw Philip in the window watching us. I smiled, and he smiled too. That's the end of chapter 2.